Today we're going to run through our lessons. So you should start out doing the sentence structure assessment. This is based on your misplaced modifiers, your run-on sentences, and your sentence fragment assignments from yesterday. So this is just sort of a cumulative quiz on that. So the assessment is that PDF, and then you use the puzzle to do, or the quiz to do your practice. After doing that, then open up the adding, revising, and deleting information, and we'll walk through it. So the skill is the following. Let's say we're in the kitchen cooking and we come across some ingredients not mentioned in the recipe. Perhaps we decide to add Parmesan cheese on top of our spaghetti or sprinkle chocolate chips into the brownie batter. Good additions, right? What about folding pickles into the pan of lasagna? Wait a second, that does not sound appetizing. Although there is some really nummy pizza out there with pickle topping, just telling ya. All right, so now suppose we are finished with our cooking and our dish is super delicious. It's really yummy, but you know what? We're not liking the taste of the horseradish, so we scratch that piece from the recipe, or we realize we can do without it. Or maybe we were short on salt and pepper and we made the recipe without it. However, we realized that without those elements, the dish lacks flavor. We realized that the salt and pepper should not be deleted from the recipe. The ACT English test is going to give you the option of adding and deleting information from the passage. You need to decide, just like when cooking, if this extra ingredient is a good addition. So what these questions look like, they're going to ask you, if the underlined statement were omitted, will the passage primarily lose some aspect? Or maybe adding the following statement, should they make that addition? That sort of thing. So how are you going to tackle these on the ACT? When you're asked those questions, you need to think about the underlined portion and say, does the phrase or sentence need to be here? Does it fit? Does it help the paragraph make more sense? If you can answer yes, then you should probably have that addition. If not, it's better to leave it out. In the ACT, less does not mean more. Remember that. So when given the option to delete instead of add information, you want to think about the past piece again and say, is this passage going to make sense without this particular information? And will it make grammatical sense without the information? If not, you've got to leave it in there. If yes, then you have to give some other considerations like, is there important information in here, or is there something lost without it, sort of like that salt and pepper, right? The recipe can go without it, but it just doesn't taste as good, right? So if you answer yes to the last two questions, then you probably should not delete the underlined portion. Okay, so here's your practice. Same thing. Go ahead. Go give it a go. You get 20 times through. So right now, take a minute and go through your 5 questions and see how well you do. Pause the video, and then when you're ready, come back and do the next piece. The next piece is organization. So the skill for organization. You're flipping through your yearbook, reminiscing about all the fun times during the school year. The yearbook starts with graduation, then the fall homecoming football game, then the spring break class trip, followed by the winter holiday assembly. Wait a minute, this is totally confusing. That's not the order that the events took place. That doesn't make much sense. Sometimes the ACT English test instructions, you reorder the paragraph in the entire passage. It's like putting the pages of your yearbook in order. The order of the paragraph should make sense in terms of time order, examples, plot, or cause-effect relationships. Suppose you're on your way to class and you stop by your locker. You know everything you need for school is in there, but it's tough to find. Let's face it, your locker is a mess. It's a bit confusing to look at. Think of organizing sentences within the paragraph like organizing your locker. You aren't adding anything or taking anything out, you're just rearranging what's already there in a more logical way. So what these questions look like, they're going to have a lot of times numbers, right? So they'll say something like, what order should the sentences go in? 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, etc. Okay. So avoid getting confused by the different number combinations and instead focus only on the first number in the example. So for instance, you're going to just put that first number first and see which sentence works the best, okay? Once you've decided which sentence would be a good topic sentence, cross out your other choices that don't begin with that number, and that's going to help you narrow down your choices. From there, focus only on the remaining choices and ignore the others. Look also for those transition words, those patterns. If you've got a word like first, next, later, or for example, or including, you know where they're going to go and make sure that your order works in that way. Once you think you have the answer, quickly reread and see if it makes sense. If so, you've probably got a good guess, okay? Avoid getting, organize the paragraphs by decide which paragraph would be this is for the organizing paragraph one, sorry. You want to do the same, but on a broader schedule or a broader perspective. So instead of sentence, you're going to look at the paragraphs and go, okay, which one goes first? Do the same thing, cross out the ones that don't fit, and then look for more patterns and information. Again, sequence, cause, effect, chronology, all of those things, those are how we order things, okay? So look for those patterns. And again, in this case, the first sentence in each of the paragraphs is going to give you a lot of information for where that paragraph should go. Okay, so here's your practice. And pay attention, like I said, to those first words, right? You've got like yes, others, some, and there. And then just go ahead and use those cues. Good luck and have a great day.